All right, welcome back to the Couch Live here on rock100diz.com and, of course, holisticlifestylesradio.com. Thanks to the good folks at dlmsuccess.usana.com. That's our sponsors. That's dlmsuccess.usana.com. Go there, get your nutritional needs, including Rev 3, the natural energy drink that I love. Yes, where's your packet? There it is. That's it. Get them. I love the packets. And anyway, we're talking gambling addiction, 888-357-7088. We have Natalie Mullet here. Natalie Mullet is an expert in this field. And what I wanted her to do is go over the symptoms of what makes, if you're thinking, do I have a gambling addiction? Do I have a gambling problem? I want her to go ahead and go through the symptoms of it. So go ahead, Natalie, take it away.
Okay, when you look at the APA does define gambling as pathological gambling as a disorder, a mental health disorder of impulse control. However, there are a lot of symptoms and signs that someone can know that they're actually developing a problem when it comes to gambling. So it's someone who starts to think constantly about gambling. They start to think about when they're going to gamble next, what they can bet on, what they may not bet on, or they spend a lot of time trying to secure money to go and gamble so that they can, where do I buy my lottery tickets? When can I go on a casino boat? When can I do the different types of gambling that I do? They will start to, really develop a tolerance where you increase the bet to sustain the thrill. I need to bet more and more, or bet on more and more high-risk bets to actually have the same impact as my earlier bets.
Well, from like a simple bet to like quinelles and trifectas?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Just trying to relate.
They'll start to have withdrawal. They'll start to exhibit agitation when they have to cut back. If something interferes, a family get-together, something will interfere with their ability to go to that game that they've bet on, or to go to the casino, or go and bet on something, and something interferes with it, they'll actually have an agitation. If they themselves decide to cut back, they'll start to have discomfort around that cutting back, and so it'll be more difficult for them to cut back on their gambling. They'll gamble to escape. Had a bad day, I'm going to gamble. Fought with a spouse, going to gamble. Just don't want to deal with the bill sitting on the table, I'm going to go gamble. So they'll actually start using it as an escape, and they'll feel their mood elevate only when gambling. And they'll be very moody, one extreme to the other, around their gambling.
There goes the family vacation.
Absolutely. Or it'll be in Vegas.
Yeah, or it's on a cruise ship where they got gambling.
Isn't that where Dr. Hoffman took his family?
The vacation in Vegas. I love that. I love that.
I swear the kids wanted to go.
So if the kids say, "Hey, Dad, let's get a keg and QP of pot," you just go for that too. All right. Dad, you work in a medical office. Can you please bring home some of them pills? Oh, sure, kids, you want it?
We're going on vacation. They'll start
misunderstood.
Just like an addict might chase their hangover, these people will chase losses. And they'll chase their loss with an additional loss, hoping to get that next win. So they'll start to chase, just like someone.
So bet on the Magic right now because they're winning.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
All the people that are
You'd
crying.
be dumb if you didn't bet on the Magic.
All the people that are crying about the Mosley fight, that just Mosley losing.
All the folks in Atlanta are doubling down.
Now you're triggering anybody who's listening. You do know this, right?
Yeah. Keep going because I do want to get to that too.
When somebody
We're
lies,
like on short time on the YouTube segment, right? So I better stop interrupting.
Lying to conceal the activity, only talking about their wins, only talking about where they've been, lying about where they've been. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're playing the stock market, but they're not letting anybody know what they're actually doing.
Okay.
So you'll see some lying start. They finance their bets through illegal acts. About 1/3 of all callers to the Florida Council on Compulsive Gambling actually will disclose that they have created an illegal act to keep gambling, whether that's stealing from a friend or it's doing fraud, doing a bad check, writing bad checks, stealing things to sell. They jeopardize significant relationships. They no longer care about their relationships as much. They may start neglecting children, may start neglecting a spouse or a family or other friends. They may switch friends to only those who hang out and gamble along with them. Just like you would see anyone else. They'll rely on financial bailouts, and they'll tell elaborate stories, and it's almost a gamble to see if you'll bail me out. If I come and tell you, look, I just, my car broke down and I need this, and I can get money from you, getting really high and off even on that kind of chasing of the money, but relying on that. I need people to bail me out at this point. I need to be able to get loans to get out of this. And then failing, obviously, in those efforts to control or stop their gambling. And you'll see that failure over and over again where they may really try to control it, just like you might see someone who tries to stop using over and over again.
Now get to the triggers of some of the triggers that you said, because there's a lot of words and things that we may be unaware of that we might be triggering people.
Well, a lot of people don't understand gambling. It's a really hard addiction. It's not visible. I'm not going to come home and stagger because I've been out gambling and lost money. There's no overdose threshold with gambling. If I'm drinking, I'm going to pass out at some point. But if I'm gambling, I can lose every dollar I have. But so money is a trigger. We ask people who are in gambling recovery to not carry cash for a year, at least. and to let someone else control their money. We ask people to really avoid the places that they gambled. Well, there's a lottery stand in most stores right now, in most of your
Like every
7-Elevens.
store? Yeah.
You know, there's games going on. You know, you go to a local fast food restaurant or a local grocery store, and they're having a game of some kind going on. That's
Any game
a
of
gambling
chance or
trigger. Any
anything?
game of chance, any kind of tickets that you might pull or erase, any kind of drawing that you might do. Those
These
are all
fast food
triggers.
places that have these, games, you can't go to those either.
Right. You have to avoid those, or you can't play them. If
Or-
you go to that
okay.
game, you can't play them.
Don't
But-
buy the sodas that have the things either.
Right.
So
Right.
even-
Don't look at the cap. You can
even-
buy the soda, but don't
Just
be
don't look
looking
at the cap.
But don't play the game.
Even the Little League raffles.
There's more
Little League
rules on
raffles.
that.
Stock market,
Ugh.
playing the stock market,
Wow.
playing real estate. I mean, any of those things that are gambles can be triggers for
Golfing,
that
playing
person.
the 50-50 in the golfing, and you
Right.
said all that stuff.
It's
Right.
ubiquitous.
It
really
is. It's part of our society. Daring. I dare you to do this. I bet you can't do this. I bet the weather's going to be this. All of those. Good luck. All of those kind of key phrases
People
that we
betting
use
on
can
the
be
weather?
triggers.
We don't have to bet on anything, I guess. What about poker? I mean, here's a widespread thing. Poker's a real big thing now.
Huge.
All right, now people that love it will say it's not gambling
Skill.
because it's skill,
It's a sport.
and it takes a lot of skill to do it.
ESPN
So how do you
redefined-
separate the skill of poker in relation to the game of chance of poker?
Well, ESPN redefined poker as a sport, which was really kind of frightening to me. It's a card game, and it's a game of chance.
But is it a
and-
game of chance? I mean, you have the same people winning all the time. I mean,
think
it's not like anyone seems to win. It's
I
like the
don't
same group of people.
I don't remember what the actual amount is, but if you, in a 7-card draw, there's something like 300,000, 3 million different draws that could come up. I mean, it's ridiculous. So it's a game of chance. We've redefined it as a sport with the Texas Hold'em poker and all of the tournaments.
Exactly.
However, what's real interesting is the year that poker became a big issue and that we opened the casinos to having blackjack and
Yeah.
other things in Florida, the number 2 call at the council was for card play.
Card.
So it's slots, card play, and lottery, and it used to always be slots, lottery, card play, and now card play has taken over because people become highly addictive. Our young kids are playing it in elementary and middle school.
Yeah, they are.
Parents are buying Texas Hold'em poker games for their children, and really setting up a brain chemistry that could lead them to addictive behavior. Are there people with skill? If you talk to someone who's truly a tournament player, they're not losing more than they can afford to lose. They are doing it with skill, but they know when to stop. They know when to fold them, so to speak. As
But you
the
say it's
song
still
says.
risky then.
But any gambling is risky. But if you're in it for the sport and they're a social player, good players are usually social players. It's really hard to be an addictive player because you take risks you wouldn't normally take.
Okay. So you
And-
do think that there's a safe way to educate yourself in regards to these games of chance and stuff like that?
I think that just like in alcohol and other drugs, there's a safe way to learn to drink responsibly and to drink that way. But if your brain chemistry is set up for you to become addicted, good luck with that.
Well, then that's where the testing needs to go,
It's a
people.
slippery
We need to test that brain because if your brain is wired that way, then good luck. All right, that was our YouTube segment. Thank you very much,
No
Natalie
problem.
Mullet, for this YouTube segment educating us on gambling. What? Where'd that come from? Had no idea we had an
our
audience.
live studio audience.
Live studio.
Yes.
All right, and thanks to dlmsuccess.usana.com. That's dlmsuccess.usana.com. That was our YouTube segment for the Couch Live. Remember, you could follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. 888-357-7088 if you need help. Give us a call. All right, we'll be back on the Couch Live right after this.